Those are the distances.
Like 5 seconds. 3
Oh.
minutes. Yeah.
Sure.
It's easy.
You know what, one of our receptionists
What's
got
your-
walked out for doing that.
10 years.
She used to work late every day,
How was it?
every day.
Great.
I can come to work 5 minutes late.
I just thought it was
Well, you know what, if you come to work 5 minutes late,
green juice.
Here. you're in
I always
a
thought
public
the course was good. I never
position.
cared much for the course.
It's not really.
I just never did.
No, I'm just saying, because we used to have all sorts of problems. So the owner said.
Well, they switched names. When we first started playing it, the 10th always first one.
That's,
That's a short
right,
part for
that
it.
used to be, first ball used to be the
Second
second.
day, work late,
And that, you can't hit direct.
I don't know. I remember he paid like 7 or 6 or 7 on
The
it.
neighbors, yes.
I
Can't, you can't.
Did you hear about the drive on Monday? His name was Joe.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, he drove, yeah, I did hear about
He
it.
drove the friends in the 10.
Right, I did hear about that.
2 minutes. The family.
I got 3 on my.
Grandfather and father.
They don't worry about it.
Well,
Charlie?
In 80 years.
it was one of those days where every place I went, there was
I knew the
accidents.
name Cahoon, but I never met him.
He played.
Good guy.
Yeah, he used to hit the side.
Well, I guess he still does. I'm looking at it, I'm thinking this is 360 yards long all day long.
Guys ready?
Yep.
I call the meeting of August 15th to order. Would you all please rise for the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Watch out.
That was good. That's on the wrong side. Oh, you just
No, it's just on the wrong side. Okay, okay. Where? Call the roll.
Councilman Cahill.
Present.
Attorney Genesi.
Present.
Supervisor Messi.
Here.
Councilman Abbott.
Here.
Councilman
Here.
First thing we have on the agenda this evening, minutes to be considered for approval, July 25th, 2019.
I would move we approve the minutes as submitted by the town clerk.
Second.
Councilman Abbott.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Cahill.
Aye.
Supervisor Messi.
So we have one public hearing this evening. It's to consider amending the Town of Webster zoning law, chapter 225. And town board's been working on this for a while, along with the town attorney. I'm making an update and changing the definition in the MC district in the code, and to establish a progressive development overlay district on the south side of Ridge Road. Jeff, do you want to go into some detail on it, or?
Yeah, current code allows something called a overlay district for various uses that make sense. One of the things we felt we wanted to add was a totally enclosed storage facility. It's kind of the new trend in storage. It's controlled temperature, controlled humidity. They tend to be a little higher end. So we're allowing those to be in a PDD overlay district for the MC areas, which is medium commercial.
Right. You want to describe a little bit the progressive development overlay district for people that don't understand?
Progressive development district allows a little flexibility in how things are designed. The original program had senior housing as permitted use in the office park area, but this is a good use of alternative zoning practices and setback practices for something like this, where provides a valuable service to residents with minimal impact to highways and the sewer system and things like that. It's not a big generator of traffic, so it'll be a very popular use.
It also allows it in the progressive development overlay district. Years ago, one developer, take Webster Plaza there, the strip mall, would be owned by one person. And everybody that rented would pay their rent or whatever to that one person. Times have changed now, that you go to town center over there, Kohl's, Dick's, Target, and all of those own their own buildings for tax breaks and other reasons, because these businesses nowadays want to own their own business. So what the PDD allows the developer to do is move these pieces, I call them boxes, inside the approved PDD with enabling these businesses to own the parcel of land within the PDD. So it gives the developer a little more flexibility and bringing in tenants that want to own their land versus having to lease the land for 30, 40 years on a lease, because those are not happening any longer. People want to own what the business that they own. So this being a public hearing, I will open the public hearing for any comments. Sir, you go to the podium. Give us your name and address. Thank you.
Yeah, Dan Dalton, 764 Patty Lane, Webster. I still can't figure out what this is aimed at, this particular space being PDD overlay. It seems as though it's just an easy way to sidestep maybe several zoning variances if they were to come up. You know, for most of the town, and most towns in Monroe County, the zoning restrictions are enough to guarantee or to at least assuage the public that they're going to have a proper use of property. Now, I know there's been several concerns in the past about, you know, and I've heard and I agree that a person that owns a piece of property is entitled to do whatever he can within the zoning regulations and the building regulations. And that's true, but several of those particular properties that I've heard this remark about have petitioned for zoning variances, zone changes, exceptions to this or that, and they've been approved. So it isn't only that the developer wants to develop a property within the zoning laws. He buys the property betting that he's going to get a variance of some kind. And, you know, the property right across the street on Hatch Road from this new development, the farm goods store, which I entirely approve of. I think it's a great facility to be going in there. But across the street on Hatch, there was a few variances, which allowed that developer to concentrate more units. Obviously, that's income. And it was passed without really, the only thing I heard is, well, you know, he needs the money. Well, you know, when he bought the property or put an offer on it, he should have known exactly what his finances were. So this PDD thing to me is just sidestepping zoning. And it puts it in a situation where if one of these properties, and I don't see anything in the write-up in this change that has anything to do with ownership. I'll have to, you know, punt on that. I don't know what the ownership rules are, but it seems to me that all this does is takes the zoning restrictions out of the public forum and basically puts it to the town board to negotiate without a public hearing. I know the planning department and has, you know, public hearings, that time, it's usually a foregone conclusion of what zoning restrictions are going to be changed. PDD means you're going to negotiate, right? Any exceptions, setbacks, I would write it right in there. You know, you can negotiate setbacks.
Inside the PDD. That's
Yeah,
it.
inside the PDD.
But first off, Mr. Development, PDD.
I understand you have to vote on the PDD.
It has to conform to
Right.
the zoning in that area.
Right. But what's the difference between just using the zoning? If the zoning is not adequate to address the developer's needs, then change the zoning rules. But why sidestep the zoning and go into PDD without a target in sight? Is there a
Purpose of the
specific
PDD is
project?
not to sidestep zoning.
No, it's not.
Variances are requested because of
Yeah,
uniqueness of the parcel itself.
but the parcel within the PDD doesn't need to go to a zoning variance necessarily.
In many cases, zoning variances are very tough to grant.
I know,
There's
I
a
know.
high
And they
threshold.
should be, and they
Yes.
should be. Because they protect the public.
Absolutely.
I don't think the PDD does as good a job.
I think it allows some,
I haven't seen any other town with as many avenues to PDD as Webster.
several towns, they just call it.
Oh, yes, no, but usually it's a one project thing. That's usually.
I think it's.
So I'm against it just because I don't see a need for it. And I think it's just pandering to developers. That's what
Right, we just try to make sure that we create an environment for businesses to come to Webster.
I don't know what it costs to do this change in the zoning. You know, what the whole thing costs from hatching it, you know, writing out this change. What you brought up with the storage can be done within existing zoning.
Wouldn't comply unless we did this.
Well, you could have put that paragraph right in the light commercial, if you want. Didn't need to have a whole, you know, I don't know what, as I say, I don't know what it costs. Gotta be thousands of dollars just to make this change. Just for all these meetings, the write-up. So I think it's a waste. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on this topic? Okay, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the board for further discussion. Other board members who have seen this for quite a few meetings? PDD is not, we're not trying to sidestep zoning. Zoning's in place. This takes place on the south side of Ridge Road. PDDs are already on the north side of Ridge Road. It is a commercial corridor. Between 104 and 404. And a definition that we're going to add here, number 21, would be storage facilities, interior access, climate control, defined as a facility that is designed for internal access to storage space by the various renters of leases who individually have personal access to the secured section of the facility, so leased for the purpose of storing and removing personal items for the interior access storage space. There is and has been brought to our attention, demand for inside storage from many professional businesses that need to store records and other pertinent papers. So we were asked to put this in there. Town board looked at it and thought it would be a good place for this in the NICMC commercial district. As far as the PDD is concerned, we've done PDDs before. They've been pretty successful in the town of Webster. Gives, like I said, developers the opportunity to move the blocks or the buildings around within side once the perimeter of the PDD has been established by the zoning of that area. So then, once that is established, whether the building, the like to put inside the PDD can be moved here, there, whatever. Years ago, you got a strip mall and that's what you got. It was pretty well set. As I mentioned before, restaurants and that are coming to town want to own the land inside of these PDDs. They do not want to be beholden to a 30-year lease, or 40 or 50. So they want to own it, and I think for, budgeting purposes, I think people would understand that. So that's why we entertained it. Town boards looked at it, and we're here tonight to make a decision on it. Anybody on the board can help out.
Well, we beat this to death. I mean, we've gone back and forth with this stuff, and I didn't think that we really saw the problem with it, and I don't know that this was a very costly endeavor.
I can assure you that, Mr. Dalton, I'm on salary, so it didn't cost the town a nickel more than it would have if I did nothing here. Regarding this, as far as publication, I think the only thing we pay for is a publication, right? And that would already be, we have to publish the agenda anyway, any resolution. So, no, there was no additional cost to this.
Well, then you don't believe us. Yeah, I can't tell you that. I think I'm gonna let that one go.
And then several boards, and everything costs something.
Anybody? I'll move a resolution of Webster Town Board enacting a new local law, amending the town zoning law, chapter 225, whereas a public notice hearing was published in the Webster Herald on July 31st, 2019, posted on the town bulletin board. Short form environmental assessment form EAF, where the proposed action has been prepared and been submitted to the town board. The town board hereby determined that based upon the information in the EAF and other available information, the proposed action is designated a type 2 action under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, as it will not have a significant effect on the environment within the meaning of seeker, and involves official acts of nature involving no exercise, discretion, and routine in continuing agency administration and management, and does not require the preparation of an environmental impact statement. The intent in creating this district is to provide a choice of business locations for commercial uses, furnishing a wide range of goods and services to individuals and other businesses. Such establishments should be scaled to meet town-wide needs. Such uses are located primarily in single-purpose buildings or small shopping plazas. Medium-intensity uses should be allowed only on parcels with adequate size to provide landscape, open space, parking, and building setbacks. Conversion of residential buildings to medium-intensity commercial use should not be allowed on undersized lots. The town intends to encourage owners of small parcels to work together to provide shared access and adequate parking and landscaping. If the landowner cannot combine parcels or work with adjacent property owners to provide landscaped open space and shared parking and access, such lots will be considered for a limited range of low-intensity commercial uses. The following shall apply. There's already 20 permitted uses. We're adding number 21, which would be storage facility, interior access, climate control, defined as a facility that is designed for internal access to storage space by various renters or lessees who individually have personal access to the secure section of the facility so leased for the purpose of storing and removing personal items from their interior access storage space. The PDD Progressive Overlay District is to provide a means of developing those areas within town zone HC High Intensity Commercial District, OP Core Area North Office Park, Industrial District, and MC medium intensity commercial in an economic manner while encouraging utilization of innovative planning and design concepts. The PDD is intended to promote cooperative planning between the town and the property owners and developers. PDD does not increase the density for the underlying zoning district, but allows flexibility in the placement of the buildings, parking facilities, etc., to preserve green space, open space, and promote beneficial development by giving the planning board authority to approve site plans applying standards and guidelines not otherwise allowable in the zoning district in which the parcel or groups of parcels is located. PDD recognizes the need to modify dimensional standards within a parcel or a group of parcels proposed for common development such as setbacks, lot width, lot area, and buffers in order to carry out the intent of the underlying zoning district, and further recognizes that such development may occur in phases over a number of years. Certain developments may require subdivision of parcels and separate ownership lots or tax numbers within the overall development area to facilitate financing of the development. The purpose of the PDD is to allow sufficient flexibility for such development without regard to underlying setback, lot width, lot area, and buffer requirements between separate parcels or ownership lots within the development area when the property is developed in accordance with the development plan reviewed by the town board. I'm not going to get into all the arrangement and location of landscaped areas shall be dispersed through the development area so as to prevent unsightliness and to create breaks in paved parking areas. Not less than 5% of the interior of a parking area designated for 250 or more cars shall be devoted to the required landscape area. The landscaping plan shall provide internal buffering for land areas within the district and privacy and screening for neighboring land areas outside the district. Landscape treatment shall be designed as an intricate part of the entire development. Development as a PDD shall require 3 steps: review and acceptance by the town board of a development plan or plans, and 2, approval by the town board of the use of the overlay district on the development area pursuant to a favorable review in subsection E1 above, thus authorizing the planning board to proceed with the site plan pursuant to such development plans, and 3, site plan approval from the planning board for each phase of the development in accordance with such development. This local law shall take effect immediately upon the appropriate filing as required by law, and the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to take such action as may be necessary to carry this resolution into effect.
Second.
Thank you.
Supervisor Hezbit?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Okay. I got this. Let's have open to the floor for anyone that would like to speak on any topic.
How you doing? So Jerry Bolito, 47 Baker Street, Webster, New York. I'm also the deputy mayor for the village of Webster. Just not sure if the entire board, town board was able to see the article in the Webster Herald that was written by the Webster Citizens Action League. So there's some misinformation in that letter. It kind of looks like it puts the town board as a bully, that they are pressuring the village board in making a decision around a joint study and a joint sewer project. And that's not the case. It kind of indicates that maybe even using us for a particular grant. That also is not the case. So I did speak to the mayor today, and he's aware that I'm here tonight to let you guys know as a board that does not reflect the village board or our opinions. I also want to state that in all the meetings, conversations, and several phone calls I personally have had with some of the board and Ron, I've never felt pressured, never felt like they were bullying us in any sort of way. And I don't want to see this continue to peg the town and the village against each other, because that's the exact opposite of what the village board wants. We're trying to create a stronger partnership with you guys as a community. We are named by a town and a village, but we are also Webster. So just wanted to make that statement that that information is not correct, and by any means do we feel that that has happened.
Thank you,
Thank you, Jerry.
We appreciate that.
I think the important thing that, important word to use was community.
Yep.
This has not been a town venture or a village venture, this is a community venture. It's an opportunity to look to see if this endeavor is financially beneficial to both.
Agreed, and we did pay together for a joint study, so that's
Right.
the village and the town.
Right, yeah.
Really appreciate you coming in, speaking on behalf of the board, Jerry, and, the other word that you used this evening was partnership. And, the town and the village working together on any measure, we have a number of intermunicipal agreements, benefits the community as a whole. And again, thank you very much for coming in and, once again, dispelling inaccuracies that have been portrayed by the Webster Citizens Action League, which have been happening for years and years. So as a member of the town board and the deputy mayor of the village board, respect the fact that you did come in tonight, and thank you very, very much for clarifying. Speak up.
Thank you.
Mr. Bowden, go ahead.
I'm all behind you. I think that's a great study. This is another item, some time ago, the board took up the issue of that Webster stripper building, and it didn't go anywhere, for lack of maybe more, but it looked like $7,000. And talking to a lot of people in West Webster that have to go buy that place, and the Jade Palace looks horrible. There's a property with the porch roof missing that fell in a couple of years ago. And the back porch fell off of the house. It's right on gravel opposite Haley Drive. Just one block to the west of it, or to the south. And the properties generally in West Webster, the route that I take, look horrible. And I'm guessing that there's nothing the building department can do. But if there was any way we can address these buildings, I mean, that Webster stripper building is an eyesore, it's a safety hazard, and, if I knew 7,000 would do it, I think I could raise that from various businesses and people.
That's not it.
It wasn't the 7,000,
No,
it's more.
we tried to get a grant. What's happening there very clearly is the owner of that place passed away, and they hadn't paid the taxes. So what always happens when you don't pay the taxes, Monroe County takes control of that and pays the town. The town is always whole when it comes to taxes. So what happened was they were behind on their taxes for over 3 years. Twice now they've tried to sell the property on the steps of the courthouse, and it's never sold. Okay? We also know it's the furniture warehouse, so we were able to get the DEC in there one time. We don't know whether there's environmental problems there or not. Okay? We can't, since the gentleman passed away, we can't get clear ownership of.
Well, we don't have, first of all, right, we don't know who the owner is.
We don't know.
The owner would be the estate of the gentleman who passed away, and that has never been probated. The family has not done anything about it. So it's unclear who owns it, number one. Number two, there's liens on the property that the county owned, and we have no right to pay off those liens, and the county, as Mr. Nesbitt said, has not been able to sell the property or sell the judgments. Bottom line is we don't have anybody to go to at this point. Even if we had an option, we're certainly not interested in taking ownership of the property ourselves. If we took ownership of the property and it turns out to be unclean, dirty, or contaminated, it could possibly cost the town hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I don't think it's something the town wants to, I mean, it's an unknown at this point. We don't have a right to go on the property, and we don't have a right, we don't believe that it's the wise thing right now to go in and to take any steps to take control.
As far as the
I
J
don't know
house,
I don't know how the city does it. I mean, I lived and worked in the city and was part of their system quite a while, and they seem to always have some.
I don't know what the
Some
city
way.
does. All I can tell you is I would advise the town board. If the town board is going to take ownership or attempt to take control of it, they're going to be responsible for cleaning up the property.
I
And
understand.
that potentially can be thousands, or I should say hundreds of thousands, perhaps more.
I understand exactly where that's coming from. I'll do a little more diligence and look into it, see if I can find state or federal reasons to do something about it.
we tried for a grant to try to get money to take it down. We were not successful.
Upgrade the whole corner, actually.
Right. take
I'm
whole
sure the
corner.
ground is all contaminated. You know, everybody knows about 99% sure it's contaminated, so it's got to be a cleanup program. That's how the building comes down. Through.
To the J Palace, we did, if you go by what he has started, putting a new roof on. If you look as you go down Gravel Road, he did.
Oh, you mean that house there?
No, the J Palace.
Oh, Jake Palace?
He started to put a new roof on it. We've been after him, he did cut some trees.
I don't know how they make any income.
But we can't.
But the other place down by Gravel, just before Kay Lee on the left-hand side as you're going north, that place has been falling apart. And it would seem that there's a code violation. You know, the roof fell in on the porch, it was half fallen in for a year. Then it finally gave way, and now they get jealousy windows on 3 sides. That's their porch, but in the back, there was something in the back, some kind of a deck, the porch also fell off. It's never painted. The guy on the corner of Kaylee and right across from it, his house has been unpainted for 3 years. It's got paint scraped off. I mean, West Webster is starting to look like somebody talked about Bali. You know what I mean? Except for the new fire barrels there, that's a great looking thing. But there it sits in the middle of fallen down buildings. So I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But thanks for your comments.
Ken Corpus at 750 5 Mile Line Road. I live in West Webster, and I think it's great, but there's always going to be someplace that not conforming. And I just want to thank Jerry for coming down here and dispelling those rumors. And you know, I think that I don't want to mention the name of the other group because it just gives them more fodder for you know, for them to start spreading lies and rumors and really false accusations. I can't understand why there's a small group of people, literally, you know, 1, 2, or 3, or 4 people that have an axe to grind and are trying to make things more difficult for the town and the village to work together on this project. And it's pretty clear that, you know, with all the problems that we've had and the work that needs to be done on the sewer, that something should be done. And if there's a way that the town and the village can work together and get a grant to save money, I'm all for it, because it just makes sense. And for someone to say anything other than that has been happening is a complete false accusation. And welcome to the extended campaign season, because this is just, you know, this is going to keep on going. But anyways, thank you, Jerry. I really do appreciate that. I want to please thank the mayor, and I hope that he's healing well and will be back in full service. So, thank you.
Hi, I'm John Baldwin, 1687 Slade Road. I was here at the last meeting talking about the outfall was installed at the Webster Arboretum Park. And that day, I happened to catch them turning it on for the first time. And after work, I tried to figure out what was going on with it, and I scrambled, took a look at that, went down to the golf course where I know they had an outfall, and saw that that outfall wasn't running, so I knew it was the same thing. And now, last meeting, Supervisor Nesbitt said that valve was put in as part of an easement, and he told me the next day that he misspoke. So that valve was not part of the easement. It was something that the Water Authority and the town of Webster talked about on a meeting happening before March 29th of this year with the Webster Arboretum. I got the email in there from Rick Ashley, who informed my wife of what the meeting was about. And it was basically repurposing emergency drain valve to fill the stream up. And then the next piece of them is the town code that says that Part B of the town code says that not supposed to affect the groundwater or adversely affect the surface water levels. The construction over there, it obviously did. It's one of those ones where I've been told we don't know what caused it. Well, I included a surface overview map, and this is not something I made up. This is something that was online. It's a picture of an overview during construction, and the stream beginning by the USGS, who put the overlay in there, starts right in the middle of the construction zone. So it was a criminal case. You say beyond a reasonable doubt they caught. But in a civil case, it's most likely they caused it, and I think they most likely caused it. I just looked at the aerial views of other things on Basket Road. I think 2007 was when the baseball field was put in. It had no effect on the Arboretum Pond, my pond, the golf course, that pond. 2009, the only thing that I could really see is the sludge coat plant was being built. And then 2014, the water treatment plant was completed, and there's pictures of the effect of the Webster Arboretum Pond when that happened. In October, the dolphin statue dried, or dolphin fountain dried up and spit blood out. I have a picture of my property on August 3rd, 2014, where the pond is full, beautiful, and a month later it's dried up. So something happened in a hurry. And I got other pictures of the pond in the Arboretum that in September 2016 it was pretty much dried up, and the town did not approach the Webster Water Authority to do something about it. Not until this year, when we approached the Arboretum Association in the early part of the year, and they wrote a letter to Nick Nosey and the Water Authority asking them to resolve the problem. I got a picture of what the pond looked like on August 1st, 2019, and it really didn't drop that much. Yet somebody posted on Facebook that the water was down and fish were dying and what's going on. And a couple weeks later, the outfall was put in, and on August first it was turned on, and a few days later, the water went over the dam again. And then I got pictures of icon, what it was like over the time. Basically, on August 2nd, 3rd, when the water was going over the dam, the last picture in there is me standing in my beautiful pond that I bought when I bought the property. And as you can see, it's dried up, filled with trees, and this could have been resolved to benefit everybody if they put this outfall in the water treatment plant. I gave a picture last time of what they did. It's wide open on the side of the park where mischief teenagers could do damage to it. If it was in the water treatment plant, it's a fenced-in area that they could turn on and off when needed. It would benefit everybody. And the volume of this, I was told that it's pure lake water. I tested the water. I bought some tap water treatment things that test everything from lead to, and it's not lake water. It has quite a bit of chlorine in it. It would be great to fill my swimming pool, except for there's a couple other chemicals, and I'm not sure if I want to swim in them. But so there is enough chlorine for a swimming pool in there. There's some other disinfectant chemicals that I'm not 100% sure what they are, or the concentration, but they in the script they show that they're present in there. And the other thing I found sort of interesting is that the town didn't have, or doesn't know of any speed permits for this. The one thing we did look into at the time when this happened in 2000, I think it was 2015.
You got 1 minute left, Mr. Wong.
Okay, 2015, we looked at having a well put in just to fill the pond when needed. And we were told that we need a DEC permit to do that. So how can the town put in some water that has significant amount of water treatment chemicals and is putting into the pond 60,000 gallons a day and not have a speedies permit for it, or no a speedies permit for it? And since I'm running out of time, I'll stop there.
Well, as I told you on the phone, your argument is with Monroe County Water Authority and not the Town of Webster. Town of Webster did not put that in there. Town of Webster did not turn the valve on. Town of Webster did not get the permit. They did, and you need to call them. You need to call them.
The Monroe County Water Authority.
I'm not gonna argue with Mr. Baldwin.
No, but
You need to
I'm
call.
arguing with you.
We're not gonna have this back and forth. Your time is up. You may sit down. You need to call the water authority.
I will request it to you, the Town of Webster, the Water Authority, because everybody's stonewalling. The one thing I love about this process that I learned is you love to talk on the phone, but putting something in an email you don't want to do because that's documentation of what's going on. I can talk, I have phone calls with lots of people.
Have you called the water authority since you and I spoke?
No, I haven't.
Why not? Why not? Why are you here when I told you specifically on the phone
Because I
to
called
call
the
the water authority? Because I called them. I called them.
Okay,
I didn't have a problem with, no, I'm not gonna give you that conversation. You call them. Come on, call.
Yes.
Pick up the phone tomorrow, 442-2001, and call them on the phone and ask them why.
And I'll get the same pleasantries that I did before when I called them.
You don't know that. Ask them why they did this. They did it. You know the Town of Webster didn't do it. We didn't turn on the valve. They did. You know they did.
Proof here in the email that the Town of Webster was involved with getting this installed.
Where? Where?
Okay, if my time's up, I'll come back and.
The Town of Webster's not involved in that. Sorry. In your
Mark
email,
Yeager doesn't work for the Town of Webster.
Mark Yeager works with Town Webster, yes.
And he has some, according to this letter, he had some homework to do to figure things out.
This email was from somebody from a Richard Ashley, not from Mark Hager. He's copied in. Anybody can be copied in. It doesn't mean anything.
Okay, Rick Ashley was the president of the Arboretum Association.
Which is a 501c3 organization. It is not an organization of the town of Webster. It says Department of the town of Webster. It's not under the aegis of the town of Webster.
Okay, FOIL request will be going out. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Neither here nor there. Why aren't you talking to the county on this?
We've talked to the county. We even had letters of, I mean, we've gone through as far as I could legally afford. We've talked to the county, we've talked to the water authority, we've talked to about everybody
all
you
right.
think of. We've been going on with this for 5 years now. The only reason why Mark Yeager even knows about this problem is because we involved him in 2014.
Okay,
The golf course.
Just one thing I would like to say, I would like to thank Deputy Mayor Polito for showing up tonight and this conversation about the letter in the Webster Herald, which I was involved in myself today. There's misinformation, false information, slanted information, because they're trying to make a point like that group does all the time. They're against so many different things in town I've never heard them say ever that they're for anything. It just drives me nuts to go on here to make assumptions that we're trying to force the village out of being a village. That stuff is the farthest thing from my mind. Like Jerry said, we may have a village in the town, but it's still Webster. We had mutual agreements between us, the town and the village. Just the other night, we had a sewer blowout at a pump station, and the village was kind enough to loan us their truck for that period of time. We've reciprocated with them when they needed trucks up for themselves. We're on the economic development team. We're working together to make Webster better. We're not here trying to tear it down. We're not here to, have a slanted view, because I don't know what good it's doing for these people, maybe 5 or 6 people. It's the other thing, we don't know who these people are, okay? They don't have open elections. They don't tell you who their board of directors are. I can tell you right now, from my own belief, that Mr. Walters didn't write this letter, okay? Mr. Walters couldn't write this letter. That's my belief, okay? My belief, I know the man, he couldn't have wrote this letter. So they don't tell you who's behind it. They say on the website, we have open elections, this and that. Anybody ever seen when that took place? Okay? When these elections are, because I certainly would like to attend and vote. Okay? So enough already. It was appalling to even see that. They're trying to put a wedge between the town and the village, and it's just not going to happen. Okay, moving on. Regular town business. Consideration to approve purchase orders, bills, and prepaid warrants is submitted by the Director of Finance, Councilman Cato.
Yes, I did review the bills and I found them in order, and I move that we pay the bills as submitted by the Director of Finance.
Second.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Supervisor Dunn?
Aye. I will move that we pay the prepaid warrants as submitted by the Director of Finance.
Second.
Supervisor Dunn?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman
Aye.
Next, we have a resolution to approve the revised Town of Webster investment policy as presented by the Director of Finance, Mr. Paul Adams. You want to give us a little input there, Mr. Adams?
Sure, it's, the last time the investment policy was updated was back in 2007. And basically it outlines the procedures that we need to follow in order to be in line with general municipal law. It lists out the various depositories, banks and other investment firms that we can put the money with. It goes into collateral. If you have money with a bank, it has to be collateralized at 102%. We do invest with banks, but we also invest in treasury bills and treasury notes, so it's very safe, very secure, and then the policy just kind of outlines the whole process for us. So it was time to update it.
We have reviewed this, and I will move to approve the revised Town of Webster investment policy as presented by the Director of Finance.
Second.
Supervisor Nesbit?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Taylor?
Aye. Thank you for that, Paul, by the way.
That will end tonight's meeting. We can take a call in, 872-7011, 872-7011. Taxes coming pretty soon, right? School taxes.
I believe the school board is determining what the rate will be tonight,
Yes, yeah.
so within 2 weeks, we should have that.
New school rates, yes. And you'll be busy for a couple months.
We're very busy, really quick, fast, but if anybody has recently paid off their mortgage, or if anybody is new to town within the last 6 weeks, I would advise you to give us a call and make sure that you know that you are a new owner, or that you are no longer having to have your taxes paid in escrow. That way we can make sure that you get your bill. If for some reason you do not get your bill the first week of September, please call our office, or you can go online to www.monroecounty.gov and you can print your bill yourself. And once we start collecting taxes, we'll keep reminding you that we have the drop box in front of the building, and the vestibule is open 24/7. And it's about that.
Hey, Ron, have you made an announcement about the flag box?
Not yet, I'm kind of waiting because I wanted to get all the parties together for a picture, but I will make that. We have put together we got a old mailbox, and I'm telling you real old, from the postmaster down there on Barrett Drive. So Highway picked it up, and the legs were broken on it and everything, so Highway took it down to the Highway garage, and they fixed it up so it didn't wobble and just had 4 legs. Then it took it down to Vital Signs down here on Ridge Road, Josh Palmer, and I asked him to wrap it in eagle, an American flag, and he painted it red, and it sits in the lobby of the town hall. And what you can do now is bring in your old American and tattered flags and put them in there. And then once a month, the American Legion will come down and properly destroy them in a proper manner. So we're going to make a major announcement, but since Barry brought it up, it's there, and you can use it now. Some people have. It's just an old mailbox, but it's all wrapped in eagle, American flag with stars. Very nice. And it sits right in the lobby right next to the clerk's office there.
Great, and up till now, I think it's the only one that's been in Webster is the one that's at the American Legion.
Yeah, I think so. People have mentioned to me that they didn't know of where they could destroy the flag properly, so we decided to do this, and it's worked out well, and I want to get the postmaster down and the American Legion, and all those in there, and we'll take a picture and we'll get it out there, okay?
He does a great work, Josh, does it by the
Yeah,
signs.
Josh Palmer did a great
Great
job.
work.
Great job. Anything else we got? You got anything?
No, we'll be having a rabies clinic on
Right.
September 11th, Wednesday, at the Highway Garage from 5 to 7.
September 14th, it's a Saturday. It's going to be a big day in Webster because we're going to have 2 big events. Number one is the fact that we're going to have the environmental at the Highway Garage, where you can take your paint cans and, what else is in there? Paint and...
Electronics.
Huh?
Not there.
No, that's not one.
Hazardous waste.
Hazardous waste.
Oh, that's just nice.
That's going to be, you have to call ahead for an appointment there. Excuse me. That's in the morning, and also at 9 o'clock over at Xerox, 800 Phillips Road, they're going to do a recycling of all of your TVs and any components you have that you usually can't get rid of there, batteries, everything.
What day is this, Ron?
It's September 14th, so you can do 2 for 1. Load your car up, 7:45, I know it starts at Highway, and 9 o'clock it starts at Xerox. It will be in my column this week, I think it came out today about the hazardous waste.
You have to make an appointment.
Yes, you have to make an appointment. It's in the Webster Herald today, and it will be on my website, on the town website, and I'll get the other one up. Senator Helmy and Assemblyman Johns are sponsoring the recycling event, because we imagine, and they're telling me there's gonna be a lot of cars in line that day for that one. People trying to get rid of old TVs that have been sitting around, and electronics and computers, and safe way of getting rid of them. In Sun King, I guess the name of the corporation is Sun King Corporation. Will be doing recycling. So that's September 14th, big day there. Farmers Market is open every Saturday. Was there last week. It was fantastic. They got some biggest tomatoes I ever saw. They were huge.
Peaches were great.
Yeah, and corn and everything. So the farmers market is Saturday morning. Get there if you can. It was fantastic last week, and I'm sure they'll have some more things this week. Okay. Anything else? Alrighty, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you. 3 weeks. We're off.
Thank you. That certainly helped a lot.
Mr. Reynolds, I'm curious, do you also videotape the school board meetings?
No,
Why not?
I don't.
But not you personally, does the league?
No, I don't think
Why
so.
not, considering the fact that the school budget is 5 times ours and the school taxes are
Something to
5
look
times
into.
ours? It's a much bigger impact on the people of the town of Webster than.
Something to look into. Yeah,
But you don't do that.
don't do it.
What about the county legislature meetings or the county?
No, we don't do that either. Something to look into.
So your focus is basically just on the village and on that town?
We're concerned about the village of Webster and the town of Webster.
But you're not interested in the school district, even though the impact,
Oh, yeah.
financial
Yeah,
impact
yeah.
is so huge.
It takes time and people to do it too.
Pardon me?
You gotta have people to do it.
Well, I know, you, obviously you're here. I mean,
I'm here.
I think there's, how many people?
I only got so many people,
How many people are in the league?
I can't tell you that.
Pardon me?
I can't tell you that.
You don't know how many?
I know how many.
Well, how many are there?
I'm not telling you.
There's not enough people. So there's you and there's nobody else that can film the school board meetings.
I'm not going any
I
further.
just wondered, I mean, you're here every night, the school board's also meeting the same night.
Whatever.
The school district's budget is huge. I mean, I'm paying, all of us here, each of us here are paying thousands and thousands to the school district, yet you're here over, really, which is basically minuscule.
Well, you don't want us here, right? You don't want us here? Is that
And
the
you won't-
object?
And you won't tell me how many people are.
Is that the object? You don't want us here?
What?
You don't want us here.
I don't
That's,
care if you're here or not.
Oh, yeah.
We have no problem with you being here, sir.
Why are you
We have
here?
a problem with you putting false information in the newspaper.
He's running the camera.
Yeah, let him run the camera, I don't care.
He's running the camera, and he's just doing it so we can put it on his website.
Put it on the website.
It's on.
That's it.
It's on.
Are we done?
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
I need to.
Well, they locked the door, he's staying in.